This URL is available in your description. So, see these records are displayed here. Any record, further details we can check by clicking the icon here. You can see anything. Now, this is we are done by getting the records from the database and using the load function. So, you can to read all the details and to download, you can visit this URL. You can see this is the entire description is available here. You can further and you can read the description and download the SQL, download the zip file with all the codes are available here. We will see how this coding is done. Once you download your zip file, open the config.php file. Inside this file you will have your database name, user ID and password. Replace this data with your login details of MySQL. Then open the SQL dump. If you want, you can use this SQL dump, or otherwise you can use the URL and copy the SQL dump of the sample student table. Then your main file is your load displays. This is our main file. This file will code it now to display our list with the record details. Entire code is available with you. You can directly use them also. Visit this URL and copy the basics jQuery structure. Let us paste our code here. This is the basic structure. We have done this. Now, the PHP and HTML part will copy this and you will get the entire code in your downloaded zip file. It is there. So, let us paste this. Okay, what we are basically doing is creating a table with all the column heads here. Now, we are coming to the PHP part. In the PHP, first we are in the PHP code starts here. You can see that we are calling config.php. As config.php is holds our MySQL connection string. Now, the next line once you are connected, next is you are writing the query. The query is you are getting 10 records from the MySQL database. So, 10 records are here. Now, after getting the 10 records through using PDO, and this you can see this we have declared this variable TBO in PHP. We have already declared inside our config.php file. We are executing it and displaying the records one by one. So far, we have not gone to our jQuery part. We are just displaying 10 records from our sample student table. So, if this part is okay, then we should see the records only. In this record, yes, you can see the records, 10 records are displayed. You can change this to any figure you want. Suppose we want 15 records to be displayed, then the limit query we have used, change it to 15, few more records will come. Fine, let us restrict it to 10 now. In this, there are, while displaying all this list, let us save this, refresh it. You can see there are two things to observe. You see this when you are inside a for each we are displaying 10 records. You can see that this is the row ID. First one, it is here, ID is displaying, then row name is displayed. Here is the name is here. You can see the names are coming up. Then we are using was up to this point. A link we are creating, but we are not pointing it. It's a dummy link. We are assigning a value to it. The value is the row ID of the record. So, row ID is here. This row ID is give the value. So, each record will have a. So, this is we are talking about this image or the icon, whatever we have used here. This icon we are using. This every icon will have a row ID, and once we click this icon, this value is picked up. We will see that we will do by jQuery. Now, all this we have given one class. This is a common class for all the rows under this column is bdetail. Now, this is a image or a icon we are displaying. Now, up to this is over. After that, this portion, the details portion, below that we are displaying a div tag, and all the div tag will have a unique ID, which is the row ID, and it is displayed here. So this every row has a unique div tag with a unique row ID. Now here you can see there is a class also, but this class is common for all the 10 rows or whatever you increase, because we want one type of control here. So you can see that all the classes are displayed here, all the classes we are doing. Why we are using a class here and a ID is very unique, because whenever we get the details from the MySQL database, we want the detail to be displayed in the specific ID. So we get a ID, so we will access this div tag using this ID. But when before submitting or before displaying, we want all the previous IDs to hide. That time we will use the class, because class is a common, so all the IDs, in fact at that time only one will be on the display, and that we can clear it off. So there are two things to again repeat, there are two things to understand. One is this a value, this or which icon I am clicking. If I am clicking this, the value is set to a row ID, so that row ID will be red. Now we'll with this knowledge we'll go to code our JQuery part. In our JQuery part, we'll start coding. First we'll pick up the, whenever user clicks any of the icon or the red icon, whatever you are seeing, we will pick up the ID first. How we will do? Or before that, we will trigger the change event of that, because that click is important. So you see this B detail, this is the class which we have described here. So this is the class for all these icons, whatever we have displayed here. So this class is associated, is a common class for all the records. So any icon is clicked, we will first capture this event. That sorry, click event. Now a function. Now let us open it. First we will close this function, otherwise we will miss it again. Now let us comment it. Fine. So this part is, now we will code this part. This is all the code, whatever we write here, that will be triggered once a user clicks any one of this icon, any one he clicks, because B detail is the common class here. Once again I am telling, this is the common class here. Okay, fine. Now let us first collect the which ID is clicked. str is suppose the ID of we want to pick up, we want to know which particular row the user has clicked. This attribute attr. Now we are picking up the value. You see the value attribute is unique to this, you can get it. Value is here, value is equal to row ID. This row once inside the loop, so every row will have a unique ID, and that part we are assigned it to this value attribute for this a tag. Now here you can see this we are storing it in value attribute. Now let us go to what you will do first. First we will just hide all the tags there. My detail. Now what we have done here is, if previously any record is displayed, that will be hide. The my detail is the detail tag. You see this is the this is the entire area defined by the class my detail. So this will hide this previously if anything is displayed. Now let us come to the main part. Now see what we will do. We do not know which ID is used. So how we will assign that this particular ID? Now you load it. For that, what you will do, plus str. str holds the number part only. Now this is a combination how we will get the ID of the record or the row which the user has clicked. This is added, and str holds the only the ID. This is the variable where you have declared it here. So str holds the only the ID part of it. Let's close this. Then what we will do, we will write a HTML there. Okay, what you want now, the process is started. So we will give a message that wait, because now we have gone to backend to get the details for you. So fine, this is showing it as long as we are working at the back end. Now let us send it to but if it is hidden, we will show this message. So first what we will do, we will again show it, because previously we have hidden this everything. So this is where we have show. Now fine, now the most important part of it, the important part is the loading. Now once again the hash str dot, now this will collect, sorry, this will, now the load function comes, load. Now the file name, whatever you, if you want it from the array, you will use that array file name, or in the database. Now we are going for the database. Load display, this particular file is available in your zip file, you can open it and see. This is the file, and we want to send the ID. So string str is equal to, now this will, okay, I have to give a starting, fine, now it has gone to next line. Okay, here it ends. Now load str, then plus str. Okay, this is the code. Fine, let me just check my config PHP file. So if I have used my database details, let us understand how the code works. You can see I am clicking this, I am getting the details of any record. If I will click any other record, I will get the details of it. Now how this works, you can see that whenever I am click any icon in this, the red icon, so what happens is this part of the code is gets executed. This is b detail dot, you just watch this, this is the class we have declared it here. So this is the common class for all the records. So any record any row or a record I click, this part will be executed. So this is the common class. So I am clicking it here, means this code gets executed. Now what the next line does, inside this, first I pick up the value, which row is clicked, that I want to identify. I will store it in a variable str. Now this str stores, whenever I click it, this value is pick up. You can see here this value is row ID. I am just marking it up to what's up to this. Here you can see the value is kept as row ID, whereas each row has its, because this is inside a for each loop, so each row has its own unique ID. So moment I click this one, suppose this ID is 3, I click this, 3 will be stored here. This variable will store the value 3 here. Now once this is stored 3, now then what I will do, I will use this, then this line will be executed and my detail will be hidden. This is because all the previous records, whatever I have displayed, I want that to hide. The moment I click this, this row has to hide. Moment I click this fifth row should hide. So details of the fifth row. So what I did, I am clicking, whenever I am clicking the entire, all the classes with my detail, you can see my detail is here. So this part of the code, this code is connected to all the details. So class is a common here. So everything is hidden. Now what the next slide does, moment I collect this and I will try to send the data to backend. Before that, I will give a message to the user that wait, the backend data has gone to backend. You are unable to see this at the wait symbol because in my localhost it is very fast. Let me introduce a little bit delay here. I am giving a delay of slip of 2 seconds. So this 2 seconds, now there is a delay. Now what happens? Now if I will click this, you can see the wait for 2 seconds and then the data displays. So you can increase this time delay also. So if I will click this, in a real time situation, your server is busy, when you deploy traffic is more, then you may get this wait message. So it is working on the background. Let us not keep this slip, you can experiment with this also. Now coming back to the wait, and this line shows the message wait because previously we have hidden it. Now the most important part is this line, what it does, it sends the data to my backend script. Backend script is db.php, Now, this data is my backend PHP code which collects the details of the record from the my student ID. Now, you see here is a variable and I am giving this is a key, this is the value. The value is picked up from the variable and this key is str. Whenever in my backend script, you can see here that check this line. This line reads this str value from the get method and stores it in the variable str. This variable str is used inside my DBO or my PHP code to pick up the details of the record. This is a part of the database PHP script to manage the database using PDO. You can get many tutorials on how to manage this in our PHP section. So, this part we are not discussing much. This is only the variable after receiving. Here is the query also. You can see the query is select from student where ID is ID. It is a parameterized query. So, I am checking it here. So, once it is checked, then the details are posted here. You can see the details are echoed or posted to row ID, name, all the details are whatever is posted here appears here. You can see if I click this, now my str will receive this ID 7. Now, str value became 7 and subsequently the details of the record is returned to our main page. There is another application which uses the load function. Here you can see that students are in our sample table. We can select any of the class and display the list of students in that class. Now, I am by using a radio button, I am selecting the class now. Now, using this class I can display the students of that particular class. This also uses, watch this video, it is available. The link is available in this tutorial.